I have lost a few. I actually lost this one. This, like the skinnier part, this is from interlocking. I started off with mini braids. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zaire, and today's video I wanted to kind of give you guys an update. It's been a really long time since I've seen you guys, but then also since I've given you an update on my microlocs, my hair. We just hit 2 years literally yesterday. I wanted to give you guys an update on my experience and my journey up to this point, being DIY or microlocs especially. I do my own reties and stuff like that. I did my own installation. But yeah, I kind of wanted to give you guys a brief overview of my journey up to this point throughout this video, so stay tuned. I can give you guys a little look. If you have seen my videos before, you'd have seen that I permanently dyed my hair black, blue, black, jet black, a few months ago. I would say less than 5 months ago, and as you can see, the dye did not stick. I would say it kind of worked more so like a rinse. But this is my hair. I'll turn around somewhat. I have a bunch of lights on my tripod in front of me. This is the back, if you guys can see that. Other side. But yeah, you can see the exposure with my lights. So yeah, I'm going to just start talking and getting into things. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to go into, and if you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes on my phone. The first thing that I wanted to cover would be my installation process. For my microlocs, I started off with mini braids. I started off with a little over 500. As of right now, I don't know how many I have. I have lost a few. I actually lost this one during my last retightening, and you can see kind of what my main problem has been since I started my microlocs up to this point. I would say I've lost, let's say, less than 10, but definitely more than 5 microlocs as time has progressed throughout these past 2 years. But as you can see, the ends of my locks, this is probably better. The ends of my locks are a lot thicker than they are when, as you can see, compared to the rest of the lock. This is for a couple of reasons. One is a lot of my ends were loose, so they naturally locked by themselves rather than the rest. All of this, the skinnier part, this is from interlocking, whereas the thicker part are from where my hair was once loose and it locked up on itself. And I think the number one reason that I've been losing locks is because during my retightenings, the root where I'm feeding the lock through itself at the base of my scalp is a lot smaller than the ends, and I think sometimes when I'm pulling these thick ends through that smaller base on the root, it's pulling out some of my hairs at the base, which makes it weaker over time, and then I have locks that will just fall out. But yeah, so I've lost a few of these. I've noticed though, if you can see, this is a thicker end one, but then I have locks that are thinner at the ends. Those ones that are thinner don't give me any problems. It's just the ones that have thicker ends. I'm not really sure how to circumnavigate that problem. I think honestly just maybe waiting between my reties more often, spacing them out some, or especially with the thicker end ones, would help me not lose as many locks. But honestly, I don't really care about having lost locks because the hair grows back at the base, and whenever I have the base grow enough hair, I'll just attach it to a pre-existing lock that's nearby. So this hasn't really been a problem for me. I think maybe it would be a problem for others, but because I have so many, you can't tell, and I honestly don't really care. But yeah, this happens every once in a while I'm retightening my locks, and I mean, it kind of helps that it fell out because I can show you the structure of my lock, or of a lot of my locks. So I have these thicker ends and then thinner base, and it's not due to over tightening or anything like that. It's just due to this hair was once loose and locked in on itself, and then this is from interlocking. I've lost a few, but again, it's not really a problem. If you can hear, that's my cat. In terms of maintaining my hair, I said prior, I just use an interlocking hook, and I retighten my hair, I would say once a month. usually towards the ending of the month. But just when I'm noticing some new growth is when I'll go in and retighten. Okay, some challenges that I dealt with before that I don't deal with now would be frizz. I don't really have a lot of frizz. As you can see, I wouldn't say my locks are fully like 100% mature, but I would say they're maybe like in the 95 to 98% mark phase. This is the length that they are. If I pull on them, there's not going to be like additional length showing up. It's just like this is what it is. So I would say they're mature, but I would say maybe like not 100%. So I don't really deal with frizz. I don't deal with unraveling. I'm not dealing with breakage or any dryness. I washed my hair once a week. I still maintain that schedule. More recently, I would say within the past 5 to 6 months, I started conditioning my hair, but not like I was when I was a loose natural. It's completely switched, which has been shocking. I now use a lot of shampoo when I wash my hair, and then I use a little bit of conditioner, whereas before when I was loose natural, I used a lot of conditioner and not that much shampoo. So that's completely switched. In terms of the conditioner, I don't think you really need to condition your hair. For me at least, I don't need to. I only mainly condition my hair because I like the smell of the conditioner that I use. And I put the conditioner on just literally the ends of my hair, maybe the mids to the ends. And I put that on right at the end of my shower. So the conditioner isn't even on my hair for 2 minutes, let's say, before I'm thoroughly rinsing it out with water. It's just to have that smell. So yeah, you don't need conditioner. I don't deep condition or anything like that. The main thing that I have always wanted to avoid since starting my lock journey was product buildup. That's something that honestly is like my biggest fear. I don't put any products on my hair besides the shampoo and the conditioner, so I shouldn't have a problem with that in the future. I haven't had a problem with that up to now. Even with the locks that have fallen out, there have been a few that I like cut near the thicker part just to make sure that I don't have product buildup that I can't necessarily see on the outside. And I never saw any product in any of the locks that I've cut, just to check. But yeah, so besides the shampoo and the conditioner, the only thing that I do put on my hair, but it's not even on my hair, it's on my scalp, is castor oil. And I put castor oil on my scalp only on the days that I wash my hair. I'll wait for my hair to dry about 80%, and then I'll go in and put castor oil on like my fingertips and massage that onto my scalp. I do that, one is just to prevent getting dry scalp. I've never really had problems with a dry scalp or dandruff or anything like that, but I know because my hair is locked, I'm not stimulating my scalp the way that I normally would have been in the past with different styles and like combing it and brushing it and stuff like that. So I try to go in and do a castor oil massage once a week after I do my wash days. And in my castor oil, it's really just Jamaican black castor oil. I do add peppermint oil, and one is because I know that peppermint oil naturally deters insects and bugs. And not to say that I'm like scared of catching bugs, but I live in New York City. I take the subway, I'm on public transit every single day for a couple of hours throughout the day, so I just want to be cautious or like proactive against getting anything. And then two is peppermint oil smells good. I know that it also is supposed to help with like stimulating your scalp for hair growth. I can't really speak too much on that because I don't pay enough attention, because that's not my intended purpose in terms of why I use it. It's more so one for the smell, two to deter any insects from staying on my scalp if they do decide to hang out. But yeah, so those are the only three products that I would say I use on my hair / scalp and have used since I started my journey: shampoo, a conditioner, and castor oil for my scalp. And in terms of shampoo, I've only ever used either Dr. Bronner's soap, like liquid soap, because it's a very like strong soap that strips oils and stuff like that out from your hair, even your skin. But they recently were bought out by a different company, so I haven't used them for, I would say, over a year up to this point. Now I just use any sort of clarifying shampoo. Sometimes it has sulfates, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it has parabens, sometimes it doesn't. My main thing that I'm looking for is just clarifying. and I'll do usually a double wash. So I'll wash it once and then I'll wash it again, and then after that second wash is when I'll do the conditioner at the very end. And the same thing with the conditioner, I use a clarifying conditioner just because I don't want anything that's like moisturizing or anything like that that may stick into my hair or like stay in the locks. But yeah, with the shampoo, I do scrunch it into the locks themselves just to make sure the shampoo is penetrating the locks. With the conditioner, I do not scrunch it into my locks. It's more so just like a passing over my hair because again, I don't want it to settle in them. In terms of growth, I used to cut my locks a lot. I would say for the first year and a half, even maybe a little bit more than a year and a half, I was cutting my locks a lot, like every single month, multiple times sometimes during the month. And that was just because during the locking stage your hair locks at different rates depending on the lock itself. So I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I wanted my hair to look pretty similar throughout the entire process. So I was cutting my hair quite often in order to maintain the similar length or the similar style and stuff like that. It wasn't until this year, in my last video actually, since then I haven't cut my hair. I dyed it and then I did a slight trim because one side of my hair has been growing faster than the other. But in that video I said I was just going to like let it do its own thing, which is what it's been doing up to this point. I don't know if you can see much growth. For me it always just kind of looks similar. I know that it's grown because these face framing pieces were a lot shorter before, but in terms of length, I don't know. I know the top locks were a lot shorter before and now they've come down here. But in terms of on the bottom, I think now it just rests comfortably on my shoulders. Before I would have to like pull them down, or while they were air drying, I would stretch them and like pull them so that they would rest on my shoulders, whereas now they just naturally do that. I can put my hair in a ponytail pineapple thing comfortably now. Before, locks would always fall out. So it has grown, but I wouldn't say anything too major. And I think that I would have had more length had I not cut my hair throughout the journey, but I'm okay with having cut it because I don't plan on undoing these. So I know that my time is limited in terms of enjoying them while they're short, because once they grow long I will not be cutting them and they'll just be long forever. Styling and versatility. I do not style my hair. I'm sure you could if you have like the same locks as me, or similar style, similar length, or similar size. I see a lot of people with microlocs who style their hair. I'm just not one of them. I've never been a hair person, so it's just not something that I'm into. I think the one style that I'm looking forward to the most would be a bun. And that just shows you how much of a hair person I'm not. This is the first time in my entire life that I've worn my hair down as often as I have, and that's just because it's not long enough to go into a bun. But I've always been the type of person who hates having hair in their face or like around them. Like I hate having hair surround me where I can see it in my peripheral vision, and having locks has definitely been a challenge in that regard for me. But I think it's a good challenge because it's forced me to be uncomfortable in a way that I once never had to be. I would always just pull my hair away from my face and stuff like that. But for the past 2 years I've had hair on my face, touching my face, or around my face, which now I can ignore it for the most part. But with all that being said, I am looking forward to the day when I can fit all of my hair into a bun or a ponytail. Honestly, a bun. I'm a bun person, and just not have it be in my face at all, or at least be able to like pull back most of it into a bun and do like half up, half down. But yeah, so no, I don't style my hair. I don't plan on styling my hair. I'm sure you could. There's so many cute styles out there, but I'm not one of those types of people. I just am looking forward to the day that I can put my hair up and out of my face. But yeah. Also with styling, if I were a styling type of person, I would just advise not to use those little tight rubber bands or scrunchies that are overly tight for too long, because I've seen people who do style their locks experience thinning and breakage from over styling, because especially the smaller your locks are, if they're micro locks, let's say, they're more susceptible to damage just because there's not as much hair within each lock. So with time, if you're doing the same style over and over and over again, and you're using very like tight retention methods, it will break down the strength of the lock. So that's something to be cautious of moving forward if you guys are styling your locks. Yeah. In terms of product recommendations, I don't have anything to recommend to you guys besides the things that I mentioned before, the shampoo, conditioner, and castor oil. I would recommend castor oil on top of everything else. Something that I actually used to do that I just forgot, but I just remembered now, but I don't do anymore, is spray my hair with water. It's shocking. I didn't even realize that I stopped doing this until just now, but I would say for the first year, every day, if not every other day, a couple of days out of the week, I was spraying my hair with either rose water or just normal water. That, I will say, I think helped my locks mature faster, because again, they were in the braid, like mini braids when I first installed my locks. So I will say misting your hair with water will definitely help them mature faster. Also, something that's a bit controversial that a lot of people do, especially with microlocs, but I never did, was the braiding and banding when you're washing and conditioning your hair, or even when you're going to sleep. I did not do that. I think I did that less than 5 times in my entire lock journey, but I just realized that it wasn't allowing my locks to mature, and your locks kind of need that exposure to just living out in the world in order for them to mature quicker, I would say. But going back to the misting with water, I don't mist with water anymore. I don't feel the need to. I don't like my hair being wet, except for on the days that I'm washing it, because one, it's just, I don't want wet hair throughout the day. But then 2, as well, with locks, something that I've been very mindful of is not wanting that mildewy smell to develop, which sometimes can happen if your hair is wet often and not drying properly. So I stopped misting my hair when I realized that my locks matured to a certain extent. And when your locks mature, they become a lot more dense, and it takes a lot longer for the hair in the very middle of the shaft to dry out. So I think once I hit that level of maturation with my locks, I stopped misting, because it would just stay wet for a long time, and I didn't need the like water to assist me in further maturing my locks at that point. And my hair isn't dry, it wasn't breaking, still isn't breaking due to a lack of moisture. So yeah, I don't mist my hair anymore. I would recommend it in the beginning to like speed up the maturing process, but then once you get there, you don't really need to, unless of course you're like, let's say, not washing your hair once a week, then perhaps like mist it once a week. But with my once a week schedule and the way that my hair is, this is what works best for me. But again, to each their own, and also we all have different hair types, so listen to what your hair wants. It'll let you know. Alright, the next thing, scalp health. I kind of went over this quickly, and I will go over this quickly again. I haven't had any scalp problems. I haven't had any dryness, flaking, dandruff, anything like that. But again, I never dealt with that before I locked my hair, so I think it's just the way that my scalp is, like the skin on my scalp. I live by a hospital. Okay, so yeah, I don't deal with dryness. I haven't dealt with itchiness or anything like that. My hair or my scalp does get itchy, but it will get itchy a day or 2 before my wash day. And I think that's just because my body like is used to this routine of washing my hair once a week, and I wash my hair on the same day every single week. So I think that's just like my scalp knowing that like I'm about to wash it, so it's maybe a little oily and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't deal with any itchiness. The peppermint oil, honestly, I think also helps with my scalp's health. Cost over the 2 years has been absolutely nothing. I don't buy anything except shampoo and conditioner, and for the past 2 years I've only purchased 1 or 2 bottles of shampoo, so 1 bottle per year, and 1 bottle of conditioner. Technically I bought another bottle, but I still have over half of the conditioner from the first bottle. I just like the scent of the second bottle, so that's why I bought it. But this is the least amount of money that I've ever spent throughout my entire life on my hair. I'm not paying for products. I'm not paying for any of the things that I was paying for before. When it comes to my hair, I don't use any tools with my hair. I was on vacation once, or over the summer I went on vacation and I was staying at a friend's house, and I didn't want to go to sleep on her pillows with my wet hair, so I used her hair dryer to dry it, and that was actually nice. But I'm okay with air drying my hair. I don't mind. So yeah, I don't use any tools on my hair, no heat, nothing like that, except for that one time. And maybe during the winter I'll buy a hair dryer, but I know I don't have to. If I just wash my hair early enough in the day, by the time I go to sleep it'll be dry. Yeah, it's very cheap. It's very affordable. I don't do anything with my hair. My hair doesn't require me to do anything. This is the most hands-off that I've been when it comes to my hair my entire life, and the least amount of money that I've ever spent. Again, 2 bottles of shampoo and let's say just 1 bottle of conditioner for the past 2 years. Those are the only things that I've purchased for my hair in 2 years, which is insane, because before I had to buy leave-in conditioners, deep conditioners, hair masks, pomades, mousses, gels, edge control, different types of brushes, different types of combs, heat protectants, so many things. Protein masks, moisture masks, so many different things. Now I don't buy any of that, which is insane to think about. But yeah, what I've learned since locking my hair. One is, I would say I was already a hands-off person because I am not like a hairstyling type person, but it's made me become even more low maintenance, which I love. I just wake up, run my hands through my hair quickly, and then I'm out the door. I would say having this hairstyle also changed my perspective in terms of just like how I view myself, because before, when my hair was loose, I was changing my hairstyle so often, whether it be buns, braids, straightening it, loose and out, or different hairstyles. So I became used to being able to change my look drastically at like a second's notice, whereas now my hair has looked like this for the past 2 years, which is the most consistent style that I've ever had for so long, except for maybe when I was a kid. My mom would do like 2 braids, but I don't know, it's just made me have more time, and time that I focus on other things with. And I would say throughout these past 2 years, I have reflected on the amount of time that my hair took away from me before getting locks, versus now. Like, my wash days were full wash days, or my styling days were full styling days, whereas now I don't think about my hair except for once a month when I have to retighten it. And when I'm doing that, I could do it in 1 day, but if I wanted to stretch it out, I could do it in 2 to 4 days, which is not bad compared to having to style and do your hair every single day, every like day of the month, let alone every day of the year. I'm only doing my hair, let's say 12 to 24 days out of the whole entire year, which is nothing compared to what it was before. I absolutely love having my locks. Everyone says this, I wish I had done it sooner, but I really do wish that I had done it sooner. It's made my life very easy, very relaxed, especially with traveling. Before, when I would travel, I would think about like, oh my gosh, the country that I'm going to, are they going to have a shampoo that works with my hair, a conditioner that works with my hair, my gels, my leave-ins, everything like that. I would always think about that, or stress, or buy little like travel sizes before I left. But if you have naturally loose hair, like curly hair, you know that you need a lot of product to attain the styles that you want. Those little travel sizes are only like not even enough for 1 styling day, so that would stress me out. Whereas now, I don't bring anything with me when I'm traveling except for my retightening hook. I don't have to worry about the types of shampoos that I'm using. When I'm traveling, I just don't use conditioner, because I know it's kind of hard to find clarifying conditioners, for me at least, in different languages when I'm traveling. So I just get a shampoo that I know, that I'm familiar with, or that's like basic and simple, and I know that I will be fine. I'll just condition when I get back home. And again, it's not as though I need to condition, it's just kind of like a luxury at this point. But yeah, it's made my life very easy. I don't have to worry about anything like before I'm leaving the house or anything. Like, I just have to get up and I'm ready. It's as simple as that. So I really have loved that aspect of having locks. In terms of like frequently associated thoughts with locks or myths, I know some people have this perception that locks are unprofessional, or sometimes even like childish. I don't think so. I think that mindset has shifted a lot in recent years, and I think it's continuing to shift. I will say though, I've seen so many more people with locks now than I did once before, and I'm actually seeing a lot of people with micro locks or like mini locks, so that's always really fun, especially in New York. I see a lot of people with micro locks and mini locks, so when we see each other, we like give each other a little like wink or like acknowledgement, like, oh, your hair's so cute and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think that negative association is as prevalent now as it once was. I would say that locks have made my hair grow in a healthier way because I'm more hands-off. I'm just letting my hair breathe and do what it wants to naturally without much, if any, manipulation. So my hair just feels very healthy. It's very thick. A lot of people will come up to me and they will say that my hair is very thick for micro locks, and I have a lot, but I think that's just because my hair is the most relaxed that it's been. I'm not dealing with any thinning. I showed you guys the lock that fell out, but literally if I go and touch where that lock fell out now, I have this much hair like that's loose and that's just growing. So even though the lock fell out, it's not as though there's a bald spot. It just fell off because of the weakness from retightening with this thick end compared to the small base. So yeah, I haven't experienced any thinning with my locks. In the beginning, I would say I had some thinning here, but my hair has been thin on the sides for the past couple of years, and I think that was from heat damage. That's grown back healthier than it was since maybe I was a kid, and I think that's due to me having micro locks and just being so hands off with my hair. Pros and cons, I would definitely say time as a pro and a con. Pro because of course you don't have to spend so much time on it. A con because once a month you will be spending some time doing your hair or having someone else do it for you. Also a pro would be the cost. If you're doing it all yourself, you're going to save so much money, like so much money. If you are paying someone to tighten your hair for you and install it, I think it's probably going to be around the same cost as keeping your hair loose and natural, which didn't make sense for me because one of the reasons I wanted to do it was to reduce my costs. But also, I don't know, it's to each person their own, and you have to think about what schedule works best for you. Maybe you don't have the time to retighten your hair yourself, or you just want the luxury of not having to do it yourself, which is totally okay. But that's something to keep in mind, especially now that it's becoming more of a popular style. I have heard people talk about how the prices have gone up in terms of the installation process, but then also the retightenings. So depending on where you live, look into that beforehand if that's something that you know that you would want to do along your journey. But yeah, okay, and then the last thing that I'll kind of talk about are my future plans and goals with my hair. Yeah, the main thing is I just want to be able to do a bun. The second thing is I would like to stop or to limit the loss of locks moving forward. I know there are definitely at least 2 more locks that I know for a fact are going to break off or fall off, and that's just because the base is a lot thinner than the end, or for those 2 especially at least, and I could tell when I was last retightening my hair that the days are limited in terms of how long they'll remain attached. But yeah, I want to reduce the amount of locks that I'm losing. I think that they've slowed down a lot, like the rate at which I was losing locks during this time compared to, let's say, a year ago. And then the last thing I would say is that I just want to see how long my hair can grow. Oh, something about that I mentioned in my last video but I didn't mention in this one is my hair is still very light. It looks thick. I mean, it's short, so it should be light, but it's very light. It feels lighter than my hair would feel when it was loose and natural, but I think that's also because there's no product in my hair. Before I would have like gels and creams and stuff like that. But yeah, my hair is very light. The only time that it does feel heavy now is when I'm washing it, and that's because they've matured, so they do hold on to water a lot more compared to when they were not as mature now. That's just like with the density or the change of density and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was my 2-year micro lock update. If you guys have any questions about my journey up to this point that I didn't cover in this video, please feel free to comment down below. But yeah, I think I've covered most everything that I wanted to in this video. If you are on this journey yourself, let me know how it's going for you, how far along you are, if you have any tips for someone who's also on this journey with you. But yeah, I hope, if anything, this has inspired you to start your journey. If you guys were on the fence about it beforehand and you came across this video, I hope that it pushes you in the direction to start it, because I promise once you start, you won't regret it. It's very peaceful over here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.